Welcome to another episode of the BJJ GOONS podcast. I'm your host, Tim, the Mushmaster Spriggs, and with me, as always, is...
Hey, yo. What's up, everybody? We have definitely been grinding this week. We've been doing a lot of work trying to improve on a lot of stuff. Like, we've been really productive this week, Tim. I'm proud of you.
I had to rearrange the lighting. As you can see, I rearranged where we're sitting, all because we wanted to give you guys the best listening and viewing experience. So far, so great. I am a little bit disappointed because I did not know how much of a difference the sound would be due to the soundboard, because I recorded some content for our YouTube channel, this new series called Black Belt Wisdom that I'm going to drop later on this week.
Did you?
Yes, I recorded a lot. I still have to edit it, but I was up late recording that, and I listened to the audio from that in the last few weeks, and definitely when we first started recording this podcast, and I have to hand it to you, we did an amazing job of stepping things up. Fingers crossed, because we record live. So I don't know how this is going to sound, but we did a few sound checks. Hopefully the sound has no more problems for you guys. Hopefully you enjoy it. The video's always been great. The lighting is great. I got new light bulbs. A lot of studying. I have to say this too. I had no idea how difficult it would be to be an independent show. Truly independent, where we don't have anyone paying us to do it.
It is really hard, and while Tim does that, I'm gonna go fix one thing, because y'all have rocked with us so long that I'm gonna just get up and walk out this frame and come back, because I know y'all understand, and these compressors work, so there won't be a lot of noise.
Exactly. So, all right, guys, this is a completely independent DIY podcast. It's been like that since the genesis of it all. And thanks for sticking with us through all the hard times. Thanks for everyone giving us constructive criticism, because in this day and age, people talk the worst trash online about anything, and they listen to this podcast and they just dump on the sound. Like, bro, this is a process. You got to understand, like, we're not professionals. We work like we're professionals. We study like we're professionals, but it's been a long process. Nico said it the other weekend when we recorded the previous episode, and I didn't make any clips for episode 102 because I was so pissed about the audio quality and everything. And she said, the fact that you have not invested or marketed any of this shit in your life and you have so much success is a damn miracle. And I tend to agree. But a little bit of hard work, a little bit of a global pandemic for us to be locked down, and I think we've made leaps and bounds. And I just want to say thank you to everyone that listens to the podcast. This is only beginning. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a blank wall. We had a Scarface poster up there, but there's a glare. And we're just going to keep on upping the game.
We are. It's so hard. I remember one time I went, because I've had a couple of mentors in the game, right? First one being Hal Teague, who I know as HT from Flow Grappling, the most hated man in Jiu-Jitsu. Like, let me tell y'all, when I get famous, when I become famous, when we make it big, Tim, like, I'm going to start marketing myself as the media child of the two most hated men in Jiu-Jitsu, which would be Master Lloyd Irvin and Hal Teague.
Oh, wow. That's a lot of hate. Hate.
It is. I remember at ADCC, I went to ADCC and everybody was like at the bar to the hotel one night, and like everybody had a few drinks in them, and I'm with like Master Lloyd and Hal started arguing, and I was like, yo, I train with you, you're my mentor, like y'all drinking, like I am not, like I feel like a divorced child, I'm getting the hell out of here, y'all have your conversations. Like it was funny.
I think that is a Patreon episode in and of itself that night. I believe that was the night before the Open, and I was there for a good amount of that because I had no idea that I was even going to do the Open the next day. Very interesting story. But continue. Oh
shit, we might have, I don't know this story, so we might be filming that Patreon episode right after this. We'll see. But yeah, so like the come up of like having, you know, Hal used to help me a lot with like SEO and things like that. And for as much as like people hate on Flow Grappling and the kind of content, you know, like he's a soundboard for me for a lot of things that I do. And like there's a lot that goes into social media that's not just like making a video, but like how you present it, the cover that you use, like the marketing, and therefore like the numbers and the interaction that you get. Like, so he's given me a lot of advice, just things like, you know, important things like the fact that bilingual media never gets as good numbers, you know? And like it doesn't matter how passionate you are about something, it matters like what gets the clicks. And like that is one of the reasons why Flow Grappling isn't bilingual. So for me to be doing BJJ Goons and Favela Jiu-Jitsu and Today Kids Project and not take something like that into consideration, you know, that's huge. Like, you really got to think about all those things. And I think that was the conversation we were having. Like, it's not like you and DJ haven't been working hard. It's not like Tony wasn't working hard. There's just so many aspects to the game, to podcasting. And like, I recently went up to New York to do a consultation at What the Fuck Media Studios, which was started by podcasters during the pandemic. And then one of the partners, he produces like all of the major podcasts. Like, he was the one that put Dylan Danhus on that thing, you know? Yeah. And it wasn't like easy, and it wasn't necessarily cheap to go up there, but like the advice and like the stuff that we were able to bring back and like implement was like amazing.
A little bit of mentorship can go a long way, and a lot of dedication and finding like-minded people. We wouldn't have been at this point if it wasn't for COVID-19. And if you guys look at the history of the pod, when we first started, it was very sporadic. And it's no shade to anybody that was involved, because ultimately, this was all my decision. We were sporadic. The noise was the sound. I'm going to just say it was noise, because the difference between noise and sound is very precise. It was very all over the place. The marketing was all over the place, but Nico helped me tremendously. She mentored me because she came into the game not thinking about the athlete aspect. And this goes back to what I've been talking about the last few weeks. There's a difference between being an athlete and being a businessman. And when you mix the two up and you don't know what the hell you're doing, it all suffers. But Nico mentored me a lot in trying to get shit done. I spent the last week working on things outside of just working out. I'll train, but I'm trying to get a new logo or add on to our logo, trying to give you guys more merchandise and more content. The content thing is going to come along because now I'm kind of getting the hang of editing, kind of understanding what to do. And I had to take the time. It takes days. Fellas, ladies, listen, it takes days to get this stuff right. And even when we come and meet in for the podcast, it's at least an hour prep to make sure the lights are right, readjusting my whole studio around to make it happen. And it's a lot of sacrifice that has to be made to make the sausage, which is BJJ Goons.